Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm the host, LaDon from Top Barber. In this episode, we got my dog, Hawk, the barber. Make sure you check this out. It's real special, man. I think you'll love this. Let's get it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Top Barber. We're here with a very special guest today, man. So if you out there and you cutting this world, man, you need to be listening to this, man. Like, we're here with Hawk, the barber. Welcome, bro. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate
my
you,
man.
for having me. Yes, sir.
My
Yes,
man
sir.
Sterling
Yes, sir.
over here.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on with you, man? Like, where you at now?
All is blessed, man. Just right now, working on the Equip brand.
Right.
Staying focused, allowing God to lead everything that I do. So yeah, man, that's a great place to be in.
That's key, man. That's key, man. So you got big things going on. I see. What is some of the things that you would probably tell an up and coming barber right now that's trying to get into the industry?
Oh man, I love that question right there because I get asked that a lot. But for any up and coming barbers, I would always share with them, learn the business. I think a lot of us when we jumped in, this is really honestly with any entrepreneur, but we jump into any like career path with skill and talent being led first. And
Right.
when we do that, we jump in and we got the skill, we got the talent, but once we into it for, years at it, then we try to learn the business because the business is not there. So
Right.
no matter if you got the skill or the talent, if you don't know business, then none of it's gonna work.
Right.
So you'll be a skillful or talented barber and you got all the skills and the talent, but when it comes to managing money, when it comes to not being a slave to the chair, you don't know how to not do any of that.
Right.
So yeah, I would always just say for any up and coming barber to just make sure that you learn the business and really focus on that.
So how did you start out? What did you go to school or?
Yeah, so for me, I started off cutting my own hair back up in Cincinnati. That's where I'm originally from. Started off in the garage, cutting my own hair, and then cutting cousins and friends and stuff like that. And then I moved down to Atlanta, got my first opportunity to cut in my first shop at the age of 16, right off of, I think it was Cobb Parkway in Dobbins. And got in there, got it cutting. I was probably making $700-800 a week, and that was just walk-ins. I ain't had no clientele, no nothing. And then I went back to Cincinnati, graduated high school. As soon as I got out of high school, came back down to Atlanta and took off.
So when you first started in the shop, though, when you said you was doing walk-ins, what was that process, man? Your first day in the shop, man, like how did that go? Like getting new clientele.
Honestly, when I ran into the guy who actually had that shop, he seen me and my mom's out, and I think he was just passing out a car, so I could come to the shop and get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
So me cutting my own hair at the time, I got my chest all out, like I cut my own hair, bro, I'm good. So my mom, she piping me up like, yeah, you good too. So he like, all right, well, if that's the case, you can come to the shop.
Right,
You
right.
can come cut at the shop. And I'm like, nah, I ain't say all that. I just cut my own joint. So he was just like, nah, you should really just give it a try. So it took me, I would say probably about a week or so to just gain up enough courage just to go check it out. But I mean, I ain't had no license, no nothing, didn't know you needed a license. And I found out you needed a license once I got up into that shop,
Right.
because I think I was there for probably like about a month. State board came to that front door. Everybody scattered like roaches. I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's all about right here. About like really like making sure you got your business in line, because once again, even when they scattered, I'm still with the Clippers. Like, what's going on? Like, well, why y'all leave?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was definitely a dope experience though.
That's what's up, man. So you mentioned God, man. How important it is too when you in your entrepreneurship journey, man. How's important God is in it?
God is important. God is number one above everything, man. And that's in life, personal stuff, family, your children, your spouse, your career path, the decisions that you make, all of that. Like, if he's not first before any of that, then you're doing something wrong. So, for me, I grew up in church. I've always been a believer. And I remember when matter of fact, when I left that barbershop that I was in at 16, 17 years old, came back home, I told everybody I wanted to be a barber. I was like, yo, I'm about to be a barber, go down to Atlanta. There's a lot of people that tried to talk me out of it because, once again, they was putting their fears onto me, saying, like, nah, being a barber, you don't want to do that. Like, barbers don't make money. Like, why would you do that? You can go to college or something else. So, you got to think a lot of it. Sometimes when God give you a vision for something, that vision is for you. It ain't for everybody else to see.
Said it all the time,
So
man.
it just becomes one of those things where sometimes we let outside folks that you telling your dreams to change up the whole narrative of your whole journey. So
Right.
I'm just grateful that, God stuck with me and really just, like impacted me so hard at a young age, I was able to stick with it. And when I prayed on it and just asked God to just really show me like what it is that I was supposed to do, weeks later, I was able to come across a sermon that, matter of fact, I think it was Creflo Dollar that he preached on the sermon that led me to seeing that barbering was it for me. And when I seen that, I went to telling God everything that I wanted to do. I was just like, I want to be one of the best barbers. I want to cut celebrities. I want to win barber battles. I want to have my own products. I want my own shop. And I went down the list. But this is the funny part, even about that, because I done told this story a few times. When I went to telling God all the stuff I wanted to do, granted, it wasn't like I was telling God, like, show me what you want me to do.
Right.
I was telling him everything I wanted to do. So sometimes, I don't know if y'all gonna catch this, but sometimes we get in our own way. And sometimes we ask for stuff that may not even be for us. So we'll go to chasing certain stuff that we like, man, like, why it ain't here yet? Man, I've been working hard. Like, what's taking it so long to come? Why I feel like it just keep getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back? Because sometimes you might be chasing something that ain't even for you.
Right.
But we think because fleshly desires say, man, that look good. I want to do this. I want to do that. And even in the process of all that, God is going to still say, you know what? That's what you're chasing. Well, I'm going to still direct this thing right here so I get the glory at the end of it. You go chasing what I want you to chase.
Man,
So,
that's real deep. We try to write our own story, man.
Mhm.
But God got a great, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I try to outrun barbering for a long time and try to ignore it, man. It was something that was given to me. I didn't even ask for it.
Man.
And it's just like, when I was trying to write my own story, man, the Clippers was always in my ear, bro.
Yep.
Come right back to it, bro.
So man, what's going on, man? The equipment,
Oh, man,
man.
Equip brand.
How do you end up coming up with the name for the barbershop?
So Equip came from when I had my shop with my guy James. We had Furious Styles, and bless his soul, man, he passed away. But when I was doing the shop with him, I was trying to kind of like reinvent my product line, and I stay in my word. And when I was in my word, Equip kept popping up, and I was just like, man, I'm looking for a name to call my product. But I've always been big on when it came to branding, not necessarily having a brand where it just was revolved around me, because you're trying to sell something to somebody, you want it to be something that obviously is universal, everybody can relate to it, right? So when Equip came up, obviously that was in my word. I'm like, okay, Equip, I'm surprised ain't nobody got this. I want to trademark this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh yeah, this was for me. So when I got into, obviously everything closed down from the shop, Instagram getting hacked, just like the whole nine, I seen God just shutting doors left and right. So when I did step back out into the barber world and I got my shop, I was like, man, what you gonna call the shop? This your first time doing something where you ain't attached to nobody else. God said, Equip. I'm equipping you right now. I'm equipping you for the new season of your life. So I said, when somebody coming in and getting a cut, is that not what we do? We're equipping them for that job. We're equipping them for that date night. We're equipping them for whatever it is that they want to do. So I said, past just it being a product, I said, man, we're true servants.
Right.
When you serving somebody, you truly just equipping them for whatever it is that they need. So yeah.
That's deep.
So how did you get in a position to work with Fabulous and
So
creating your own clipper and all that?
back in 2015, 2015, 2016, I did a barber competition down in Miami. And that barber competition that I did several before that. But this particular one, it was funny because I wasn't even going down there to compete. I was literally just going down there to network, shake hands, kiss babies, all that good stuff, and really just be inspired. And the week of, literally, this is no lie, I had 2 different clients came in at 2 different times, and I just asked them. I said, man, y'all ever been down to Miami? Both of them said no. I said, man, I'll pay for y'all flight, your hotel, everything. I just need to use you for a competition. So they like, of course, yeah, I go to Miami. Now, granted, me doing that, I burnt a hole in my pocket. I'm not gonna lie. So in my mind, I had to win. It was I didn't see nothing else. So even when I went down there, though, you know, I signed up for old school. I think it was an old school category and best barber in America. Now, a little bit of a backstory. On my right arm, one of my first tattoos that I got was BBA. It stood for Best Barber Alive. But if you think about it, Best Barber in America is BBA. You know what I'm saying? So this was something that I manifested a long time ago. But I always used to tell people it wasn't me competing against anybody else. I was competing with them myself, trying to become better and better every single day. So when I went down to that barber competition, when I got there, honestly, I was so locked in. I had never been like this locked in my life, but I stood right in front of the stage and didn't move. Like, people was coming up, I was shaking their hands, we was talking and all that good stuff. But they seen me with that suitcase and they like, "Oh, what you doing, man?" I'm like, "Man, I'm getting ready, you know, to go up in a minute." "Oh, for which category?" "Oh, you know, old school and basketball." "Oh, man, I wish I'd have known this, man. I'd have saved my money." So even with me hearing this, like seriously, even with me hearing this, I'm like, dang, like they got that much confidence that I'm about to win. Like, so that's just building me up. Like, and I'm talking about everybody that's coming up. They like, "Yo, you got to compete." And I'm like, "Yeah." They like, "Oh man, you got this soul, bro. Like, yeah, you be going off." So once again, it's one thing to know that you good, but when you get that confirmation from other people, you just like, "Oh, okay, like yeah, they see something too." So for it to be in Miami, all these barbers from all across the world is here at this competition, and Babeless was sponsoring it. I wasn't paying attention to none of that. I ended up winning both categories that night. I left out, I think it was over like $2,400. Made my money back. Once again, was able to be put in a great position. And I think it was like weeks later, I ended up getting a call from Babeless. I think my boy Van reached out to me. Jay Majors reached out to me. And they was just like, "Yo, man, we see you was using the tools. You know, we love what you're doing. We love how you promoting on your page. You going hard. How would you like to work for the company?" Now, here's the tricky thing, though. That was never in my plan to be no platform artist or no educator. And this is what I'm saying. Like, when you allow God to just kind of take the wheel and really just move, He gonna start opening up other doors for you that you don't even see for yourself. So when I worked for my first show that they had me work for was up in New York. I'm thinking every show was pretty much like Bronner Brothers. You go, you know, working at a little booth, you showcasing your stuff, and that was it.
Right.
My first show up in New York was like 400 something people in front of the stage. They like, "Go up there, do your thing, and teach." I'm like, "Bro, I don't do that." But they like, "Hey, this is what you need to be doing." So I was just like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
I ain't even go up the whole time I was at the show. I did not go up. I didn't have enough confidence to do it, and most people don't. But over the time, I had to learn how to do that, and you know.
So, is there any advice that you can share for young up and coming barbers, like you said, like to follow footsteps of you?
Yeah. So my thing that I would share for any up and coming barber is, first and foremost, always just remember your why and why you're doing what you're doing, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce. Like I said, if you go to social media, that's number one prime example that I can ever use. When you open up social media, you're seeing what everybody doing. So you constantly comparing yourself to what everybody else is doing subconsciously. You might not even be doing it purposely. But when you're doing that, you're constantly telling yourself, "I need to go harder. Man, I need to jump into that. Man, I need to start that. Man, I see that's working for that person." So we constantly trying to keep up with everybody else. But if you remember your why is what's going to keep you in line and where you need to go and going to keep you on your journey. So, yeah.
So how can somebody book a haircut from you, man?
You can go to Instagram, you know, the Hawk Vision. You go to equip.com. You can book there. And, come get equipped.
So I've been wanting to get a cut for a long time,
Come
bro.
through, man. Come through. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Man, thank you.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Top Barber,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Appreciate
Yes, sir.
you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys, man. We'll see y'all again next time on Top Barber.
Hey yo, what's up everybody? I'm your host LaDon from Top Barber, and this episode is sponsored by Barberless Low Pro. Man, make sure you go out and get you one. You can't have this. Go get your own. Let's get it.